Welcome back to the Bruin Insider Show, getting you ready for UCLA and UNLV coming up Saturday night. Nick Koop joined by Wayne Cook, and our special guest, he is back and better than he's ever been. Hudson Habermehl, the stud tight end, joining us. How have you been, man? How are you feeling, first and foremost?
Physically, feel great. That first game, getting back out there after missing 15 to 16 months of team activities, it was nice. It was a good feeling. I wasn't thinking about my injury at all. Was moving on. Everything felt very slow, which is a good thing in a game because it tends to pick up fast. But everything felt really good. I was excited to be out there. Obviously, the outcome isn't what we wanted, but the season is long. There's a lot to look forward to. So I'm really glad to kind of check that first game off and get ready to roll into UNLV.
Hudson, I thought you looked fantastic. I know we didn't have the ball much on offense, at least it felt like it. I'll tell you this, too, to make you feel better. When I came off my knee injury, my first start, we lost, and I threw an interception at the end of the game. But we went on to win a championship. So there's sometimes things don't go well. You've got a lot of new faces, but you look fantastic. And what I want to ask you about is, I know you guys went through the film. Because it felt like there were opportunities there for you on offense.
Yeah.
What did you guys see as a team that you need to kind of clean up a little bit to take that next step so you can be full force against UNLV?
Yeah. After the game, everyone's down, and Coach Foster made it clear it's game one. It's a long season. Like I said, it's not the outcome we wanted or intended. The confidence was at an all-time high, team-wide, going into that game. So Sunday, we got a chance to break down the film, see where we made the mistakes, where we can get better. And the cool thing about watching that, and I think Coach Foss has mentioned it, is there's a lot of plays that were a lot of meat left on the bone, I should say. I think the biggest thing for us is just execution. Guys were in the spots they needed to be. And football is such a team sport that if one person might make a mistake, it could shut down a play. So knowing that, watching the film, correcting it, kind of getting back on track this week during practice, it kind of gave everyone a confidence boost that we're just one play away on certain drives. In a game of football, it's all about momentum. So if you can get momentum going in a drive, they could carry on throughout the game. So a lot of bright side in the dark time during the game. So I think it was a really good way of us as a team flushing the outcome and moving on.
It's interesting you bring up momentum because, Wayne, I'm sure you hear about this. There's so many analytical minds that don't believe in momentum, but continually talk to athletes, and they believe in momentum. I 100%. Find that so fascinating.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard much about the analytical side of momentum, and there's probably analytics that say it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what. When you're on that field or on that sideline, your defense makes a good stop, offense scores, that carries on. And so, unfortunately, we didn't have many times against Utah to have that momentum, but it's something that's going to come. It's going to start clicking. And like I said, it's game one. There's a lot left the rest of the season. We could turn this thing around. So there's a lot of upside on this team. Yeah.
Hudson, I'll go ahead and pile on. All the people that say whatever they say about momentum are idiots. Momentum is real. I'll experience momentum on the golf course today. If I hit a couple of good shots, I promise you it changes my mindset. It's amazing how important it is between the ears. And one of the things that I've always respected about you, Hudson, is the kind of guy you are. I was on the field the day that you got hurt. It actually was like you got shot because the scream and the.
It felt like it. I'll tell you that.
Well, trust me, I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But the way you've recovered and your attitude, I think that this will tie into what you were just talking about the team. Talk about the character of not only yourself, and if you want to elaborate on your family and where you get that from, because I really appreciate you. I think we've become friends over the last several years, and trust me, I look forward to seeing you. But not only your character, but the players on the team. You talked about the resolve, how the locker room was, and how people are still going in the right direction. So if you could just elaborate on that.
Yeah. Well, to start with me personally, my character, I give credit to my parents. I think I was raised a really great way, and I think discipline was instilled in me at an early age, where it kind of left me independent on certain things at a young age that I took pride in. So I kind of built onto this character that my parents laid a foundation, and the best way to get that character is to look up to your parents themselves. I see them as role models growing up, and I kind of give a lot of credit to them. And I would say the biggest thing during this injury, this rehab process, was falling back onto that character. And as you know, you've been through injuries. There's times where you just don't want to do any rehab, anything. You just want to be down on yourself. You have this hate for everything, and it's hard to overcome that. But I think what my parents instilled in me, and they were huge during the rehab process, recovery process, I would talk to them a lot. And having them as a backbone to my character, it's helped me. And it kind of makes me who I am today. I'm very outgoing, passionate, so I give them a lot of credit. And as far as the team, I give Coach Foster and the staff all the credit in the world, because in this new NIL era, transfer portal, I mean, people are jumping team to team, which is normal now. And it's tough with that era to build a culture when you have 30, 40, 50 new guys coming on the team. But when they find certain people with certain character, I think it just helps kind of bind a team together. So that spoke volumes during the loss last Saturday, because when you go in that locker room and people aren't fighting each other, pointing at each other, you did this, you did that, it's an acceptance. We need to get better. There's a lot left on the bone. So we just got to put our head down, have a chip on our shoulder, and want to prove ourselves throughout the rest of this season.
He's Hudson Habermehl, tight end for UCLA football, joining us on the Bruin Insider Show. Nick Koop and Wayne Cook. You allude to culture, so many new guys, and I would have to think someone like yourself, who's been around here a while, 7th year here at UCLA.
You don't got to remind me, Nick. You don't got to remind me.
But I would think if I'm Coach Foster and his coaching staff, you're incredibly valuable given how long you've been around, not just college football, but here at UCLA specifically. So how have you taken on perhaps even a greater leadership role this year, given all the new pieces?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy to see all the things I've seen in the last 7 seasons being at one specific school. It's not heard of anymore. It's really not that. I mean, especially with the COVID stuff, like it's I don't even know if it was possible beforehand. But
it was not.
So hey, I'm lucky though, and I tell people always make fun of me, like, dude, why are you still in college? Like, get a job. I'm like, dude, I'm playing the game I love. I'm coming off an injury, proving myself right, proving people wrong. There's a lot of people that are saying just move on. Dude, why would I want to move on from a spot like this, with a staff like this, teammates like this? Like, there's so much to love in what I do every day. So I think stepping into a higher leadership role, not gonna lie, it was a little tough for me this year because of the injury. I had months where I wasn't even really at the facility, because when they're practicing, I'm either at school or I'm doing rehab stuff. So when you bring in, like I said, this big class of transfers, I don't get a chance to bond with them. I'm not in the locker room with everyone else. I'm not on the field, obviously. So it's tough for me to have a voice that's heard. And I didn't want to overstep boundaries and be the guy yelling at people when I'm not even out there. So I knew my place. I knew my role. But as I got healthier, I think that confidence, that leadership kind of grew. And it's been cool to feel that and see that. So me being here for so long, one, I have a great relationship with Coach Foster, Coach Jerry, obviously. And you know what's funny about Coach Jerry is when I came here in 2019, I was a walk-on receiver. Coach Jerry was the assistant. I don't know if he was considered a GA or just an assistant wide receiver coach. And I think there was 14 or 15 of the receivers, so I was 14th or 15th receiver on the depth chart. And at this time, I'm coming off 1 year of high school film. I've only played high school football for 1 year. So I'm learning defenses. I mean, in high school, you just throw jump ball, stuff like that. It's really easy. And every day during fall camp, that fall of 2019, I would go up to the 3rd floor, go into Jerry's small office that was like in the staff room, and we would draw up plays. He would explain everything, and full circle. Now I'm in my 7th season, 2025 at UCLA. He's my tight end coach. And I was really bummed last year because I got 2 weeks of spring ball with him as my coach. Obviously got cut short. So I'm just glad to be out here experiencing him as my coach and this culture that Coach Foss has kind of created. So it's an exciting time, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season because it's been long awaited. Yeah.
Real quick, two-part question. Your first answer is quick, because after all of that, I want to hear what degrees you have and what degrees you're working on.
Okay. So got my bachelor's degree in environmental studies and geography in 2023. I got my first master's in education. It's the transformative coaching and leadership master's they have here. And then I got hurt spring of 2024, and I knew I was going to stick around for that year and then this 4-month season. So I was kind of planning, what do I do with this time? And you guys know Chase Griffin and Shea Pitts, they got a master's in legal studies. So I reached out to them, and they were like, here's the application, all this stuff. And I applied last second, right before the deadline. Did the interview process, and it was a legit program. Like, I mean, they interviewed me on Zoom, phone calls, obviously a written test and resume and all that stuff. And I was ecstatic to get into that. So it was a silver lining throughout this whole injury. So I just finished that second master's in 2024. No, I just finished it this last May. So now I'm working on a project management certificate through the extension program, and I'll finish that. And I can gladly say when I'm done that I'm finally done with school. I've had enough.
Hudson, listen, for everybody out there listening right now, this is a young man that's taking advantage of his opportunity. We talk about NIL, we talk about transferring. You've taken advantage of a great institution, and I'm proud of you, man. But let's move to UNLV.
Yeah.
What have you seen on film? What are you expecting to see defensively from them that you guys can get after?
Yeah. So UNLV, they have a lot of talented players. And they're a new team, similar to us in this transfer portal era. They brought a lot of guys in, and their defense is really sound. They have a defense coordinator from the NFL. He likes to run really sound gap responsibility defenses. So it's a challenge for sure. You got talent on talent. So we're looking forward to that challenge. And like I was saying, we got a chip on our shoulder. So we really got to bounce back. And momentum is in the game, but also it's in the season. So game by game, you start winning games, you get that momentum week by week. So we're looking to start that momentum this Saturday.
If memory serves me correct, the last time Hudson Habermehl found the end zone was also in an NFL stadium. LA Bowl, right?
Great memory, right? Yeah,
SoFi
that's great.
Stadium.
SoFi Stadium, LA Bowl.
Yep,
yeah.
got to be playing in Allegiant Stadium this weekend, home of the Raiders.
I didn't even put that together. My buddy is a big Raiders fan, so he's going to make it out to the game. And I guess that's a great, maybe history will repeat itself.
Yeah, I'm just saying, look out for 81 in the end zone this weekend.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'm just looking for a win. That's the biggest thing. Let's just get a win, however it comes. We just need to start winning. So.
Amen to that,
yes,
and great to catch up with you.
Yeah.
So glad you're healthy. Appreciate your insights and sharing all that with us, and we're excited for the rest of the season for you and the team. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's always
Thanks, Hudson.
you guys. Yeah, thank you.